Hello, welcome back to another social dilemma video. Pardon the noise in the car. It's kind of chilly today. Actually, a beautiful sunny day here, but temperature low 50s. So I got the heat on. This is one tough one. They all are, right? Capitalism, profit, healthcare, drugs. Let's talk about drugs. Pharma. Big pharma. For sure, with the pandemic, the past 2 years, big pharma have surfaced more in conversations and debates about greed. I'm sure we all have heard that, okay? Here's a dilemma. Like you, many of you, I don't like to pay high prices for drugs. Thankfully, right now at age 55, I don't need to be on any drugs yet. I do the best I can to stay healthy. The last time I bought anything was I think about 5 years ago. I got the flu and I got Tamiflu, the drug that anyone that got the flu should take within the first 48 hours to have it work well. Otherwise, it doesn't work very well or very helpful. But I remember paying $180 for the regimen over 5 days, and it was insane. I actually saved those pills. I still have them because after I paid that much for them, I said to myself, well, I don't feel so bad, and luckily the flu didn't turn out to be so bad that I was able to weather it and felt better within 3 or 4 days. And then I saved the pills for future use because it was just so expensive. Now, if you didn't know, the average life expectancy of men and women in this country has risen over 10 years. If you go back to the 40s, the 50s, the average life expectancy of the average American are in the mid-60s. Now it is mid-70s, if not higher. Of course, the pandemic kind of skewed the number the last 2 years, but prior to the pandemic, it was over 75. I think for women, it was like 78. For men, it was like 76, something like that. But you can Google that and see it, okay? So, one other thing that's very difficult for a lot of people to understand is with capitalism, greed, motive for profit, it also brings in innovation. If you look at the history of mankind, without motive for profit, there is a lack of drive to innovate. When is the last time a new life-saving drugs was invented in China, Russia, or any other country? Really, if you sit down and think about how many new drugs or health procedures, heart transplant, you name it, up and down many areas of healthcare, how many innovative new life-saving, quality of life improving drugs or procedures operations, you name it. How many of those are invented anywhere else but this country? Surely, many of those are profit driven. Often, we think those things are created out of generosity. That's just not the case, right? If humankind are so generous, we would have all kind of innovative drugs and medicines and medical procedures from other countries instead of this country. So I understand the social dilemma. I understand both sides of the argument. I don't like to pay a high price for drugs. I constantly get into discussion with friends and family about, well, why do we sell drugs so high over here, and for the same pill over the Philippines, we're charging 90% cheaper? Well, we are subsidizing the world. The drug company spent billions to make the drug, to research, to get the drugs done. They want profit. Yes, some of them, if not many of them, are greedy. Why? I already brought this up in another video. We are living in the capital structure. Stockholder, shareholders want more profit to drive price higher to make more money for themselves. It is what it is. When you have a capital structure economy where many big business, big pharma, a public company with a lot of shareholders, employing tens and thousands of people, paying very well, they want bigger profit. There's a lot of issues with big pharma that are so complex. It's never so easy to just say, just make cheap drugs. Why are you overcharging? Well, part of the problem is a pattern, right? To regulate the drug industry, the pharma industry, we don't want them to keep the secret too long, which in many reasons why many of them, when a drug is approved and announced, they want to make the most profit in the time span they have before generic can come in and undercut all the prices. It's a lot of things that there's no easy solution. I discussed about why can't we extend the patent, right? Hey, if we extend the patent, allow them to make more profit over a longer period of time, perhaps they will charge lower. Well, there's no way to assure that they will do that, because if we extend the patent life, they might still charge as much as they can to make even more money because it's greed. Right? So it is a no-win scenario. If there's any way to entice, to incentivize scientists around the world to do something for the good of humankind, that would be nice. Just as nice as world peace. No more killing. We can all live in peace, right? It's just not as simple and straight as, oh, big pharma is evil, they charge too much, it's all about greed. It is about greed. But without greed, there is no drive, no incentive to innovate. As far as for me, you know what I do? Try to live healthy. The best advice I got from every person I know that are in a medical field, I know a few doctors, and I'm sure I'm not alone in hearing the same advice. You know, the best way to avoid expensive healthcare, don't get sick. Whether it's health insurance or big pharma, medicine, you name it. And all of it ties into the capital structure of this country. But what comes with the greed, the bad, is the good, innovation, incentive. It go hands in hand, and I don't know if we can ever decouple both sides, because how many scientists out there are going to want to work for free? My older brother, worked for Big Pharma for 2 decades. He worked for the 2 big companies he worked for, Pfizer, Biogen. So trust me, I have had multiple endless discussion and debates with him about high drug prices over the many decades. I understand where he and his cohorts come from, his boss, his company. I understand why they do what they do. At the same time, none of us can control greed. None of us can figure out a way how to incentivize someone to work for less. For the good of humankind, that hasn't worked. If we approach life for the good of humankind, we wouldn't have war, killing, non-stop for the past centuries. We are very troubled species. A lot of things that we want, we just can't get because it goes against our primal instinct. Man's are not from Mars, women are not from Venus, we are all from freaking cave. So, if you disagree with what I said, think and research about what wonderful new drugs or medical procedures had come out of other countries. We, the US, have been at the forefront of many new innovative treatments for decades now, because we incentivize scientists to come up with solutions to give us better life. It is what it is. I don't really have the answer when it comes down to people getting mad at Big Pharma. I don't blame them. Nobody wants to pay so much for drugs. Nobody. Okay? So, how? If you have a solution on how you can convince Big Pharma to put money into efforts of research and come up with new innovative drugs or medical procedures without profit, I'm all ears, okay? Because I like to hear how you're gonna incentivize thousands, tens of thousands of scientists and engineers out there that work at all the Big Pharma to do this without this as a big incentive. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.